So the whole purpose of this channel is to make life-changing returns by being an early-stage investor in revolutionary technology. It doesn't get more exciting than that. We've seen the early-stage investors in the internet make life-changing returns. We've seen the early-stage investors in the first blockchain protocols make life-changing returns. It's not rocket science. We just have to find the assets with the most explosive upside imaginable, with exponential adoption. That's what it's all about, exponential adoption. So with that in mind, what we've been doing on this channel is covering the Bitensor subnets, because these assets, unlike a lot of other assets, have the potential to provide a 100x return in a very realistic way. And we've been covering how that's possible. And in this video, we're going to cover how it's possible in 2 of these subnets. So the goal is to do as many deep dives into these subnets as possible so we can understand what's going on. So again, if you're new to Bitensor, what a subnet is essentially a miner. So Bitensor is similar to Bitcoin in that it pays miners tokens in exchange for what the miners provide. Well, Bitcoin miners provide computational power. Bitensor miners provide whatever the market wants. So whatever the majority of TAO holders decide is important, be it creating an artificial intelligence model, be it providing compute for those artificial intelligence models, be it discovering scientific breakthroughs, be it training artificial intelligence models, any of the world's problems that TAO holders decide is important will get funded in TAO emissions. That's the power of the TAO token. It decides where emissions flow. So a lot of these subnets are earning TAO emissions, and a lot of these subnets are paying 100% plus in passive income a year, not counting for the potential explosive upside. That's how you get a 100x return. Now, again, not financial advice. We're in the wild west of the blockchain era. This is very early stage technology. Anything can go to zero. Anything can get hacked. The Bitensor blockchain was just down for a day or two to address a potential vulnerability. So again, anything can happen. Now everything's fine. The chain is secure. The exponential adoption continues. We're over 110 subnets right now. At one point, it cost like 80 to 100K to create one subnet currently. It costs a lot more early on. These are all teams building, trying to solve the world's problems and create breakthrough technology and earn Bitensor along the way. This is a chain reaction in cyberspace, exponential. Human and non-human minds solving the world's problems and earning Bitensor, right? Wait till thousands of these subnets are created. That's an exponential explosion of innovation. So in this video, we're going to dive into 2 of these subnets and how to potentially make life-changing returns on them if possible. First subnet is Subnet 64, Chutes. Bitensor's current top subnet, Chutes AI, serves trillions of tokens per month with 0 employees, 0 venture capital raised, 0 debt. Meanwhile, 2 of the top 10 AI startups match that volume, but burn billions of dollars on insane valuations, employ thousands of people, and remain catastrophically unprofitable. This is the power of open source technology with an incentive mechanism like Bitensor. Revolutionary technology, very efficient, very little overhead, all streamlined, all decentralized. So what is going on with Bitensor Subnet 64 Chutes? Over 90 billion tokens processed per day. A token is an instance of text. So it's like a word or a phrase in a large language model. How much activity are these large language models processing? That's what a token is. And again, an instance of text. So we're talking 90 billion tokens processed per day. And that's matching some of these very highly valued AI startups. And this is one subnet on Bitensor. This is from Rayon Labs, who controls this subnet. Just a reminder that AI at scale is already here today on Bitensor. It's called Chutes, and it's currently processing over 90 billion tokens per day, powering real apps, real users, real queries across the globe. Bitensor at scale isn't tomorrow, it's right now. Here is the uptrend. That is the growth trajectory we want Choose C. That's Subnet 64. Now, what does it mean to be processing all these tokens? Well, what Subnet 64 does is provide computational power. What is the most valuable resource to AI? Computational power. The more computational power you have, the better the AI you have. That is what Chutes provides. So below are the current counts of GPU nodes on the Chutes platform. They have 4,400 NVIDIA H200 141 gigabyte SXM GPUs. That's a lot. They have 2,100 NVIDIA GeForce GPUs. They have 1,300 NVIDIA RTX, and they have 511 NVIDIA L40s. Again, they control some of the most valuable computing power on the planet, and it's being adopted at an exponential clip. But this is where it gets absolutely nuts, because what it's competing with is Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services. Those are its competitors. Chutes is a serverless AI compute subnet that enables developers to deploy, run, and scale AI models quickly and cost effectively, offering up to 85% cost savings compared to traditional cloud providers like AWS. This cost efficiency and ease of use make it highly attractive for developers and businesses looking to integrate AI without managing complex infrastructure. This is the revolution of decentralized compute. This is what the blockchain allows. It connects distributed computers all around the world very seamlessly, very efficiently, without creating the crazy overhead that Amazon has and charging customers a higher price, so it can compete significantly and win on cost against Amazon Web Services. Doesn't get bigger than that, because Amazon, Microsoft, they're all valued. They have multi-trillion-dollar valuations for a reason, because they're powering the internet with their compute. That is what Chutes is doing. Now, as phenomenal as all of this technology is, if you follow me in Patreon, you know we have not been buyers of Chutes yet, which has been very fortunate, because here is the price action. Since mid-March, the price action of the subnet has been falling. Now, it's revolutionary technology, so who cares? If you believe in the subnet for the long term, which obviously it has rock solid fundamentals, if you believe in it for the long term, who cares? You dollar cost average, you stake it on the Bitensor wallet, which we've covered in a previous video, how to rake in profits in these subnets. Find that video if you want to learn how to invest in these assets, or you can direct message me on Patreon and I will help you get set up. So the plan is to cover all these subnets. Here's the first one. Obviously revolutionary, but the price has been falling. Now, why haven't we been buyers of this in our Patreon? Partly because the fully diluted valuation of this asset is $2 billion. The fully diluted valuation of Bitensor is something like $8 billion. So this is valued at a quarter of the TAO token. Obviously, this is breakthrough technology. This is one of the best subnets by far in Bitensor, and it's earning most of the Bitensor emissions. But does it deserve 1/4 of the value of Bitensor? Maybe, maybe not. That's a high valuation, especially when you start to compare it to some of its competitors within the Bitensor ecosystem. So we haven't been buyers of it. Is it A plus? Is it a blue chip? Does it have exponential upside? Absolutely. It really doesn't get better than Chutes. So if you believe in something like this, dollar cost averaging on dips is the way to make life-changing returns, because assets like this, again, when you stake them, are kicking off something like 80 to 150 to 200% APY per year. So it's paying you to wait, and you can compound your returns as you wait for it to bottom out, because no one knows when the bottom will be. Eventually, the world will wake up to these subnets. Money will continue flowing into them at a faster and faster clip, and assets like Chutes, which is obviously revolutionary, should skyrocket. So we don't worry about falling charts. We just haven't been buyers of it because it's one of the highest valued subnets in the space. We like to find those deals. That's how we've been able to stay up in this environment, because we buy the assets that are on sale and therefore have upside in almost any market. What is one of those assets? Well, it's the other subnet I want to cover in this video. We're going to cover 2 today, potentially 3. We'll get into the third one, but Chutes was the first one. Obviously, breakthrough, A plus, blue chip, phenomenal. Yes, it's on sale right now. Yes, it's an opportunity to dollar cost average, not financial advice. What about this other subnet? Subnet 51 Celium. Celium is a decentralized computer as well. It's a decentralized compute network. Now, here's the thing. The blockchain world is full of decentralized compute networks. Akash, Flux, the Render network. There's lots of these. There's so many. Aether, IONet, Gamer Hash. It goes on and on and on. So what really matters when looking at these decentralized compute networks is the adoption. Comparing the adoption. A decentralized computing network is only worth investing in if it's being used. So is Subnet 51 Celium being used? Subnet 51 big update revenue. This is April 15. Current daily revenue based on rentals 3,100. That's about $100,000 per month. Future plans, integration with Shadeform AI is in progress. Docker and Docker templates are coming. So they're earning revenue, and they have plans to expand that revenue, obviously. Now, again, what is the most valuable resource when it comes to AI? It's compute. So any available compute on the planet will most likely be taken advantage of, especially very inexpensive decentralized compute. But this one is already generating revenue about $100,000 a month. That is hugely positive. This is where it gets even more positive. Subnet 51 just burned 20,000 TAO. That's a lot. Worth of alpha tokens, 150,000 Subnet 51 tokens. We are glad we are able to provide such a quality service while maintaining sustainable tokenomics. So they are taking the revenue they are earning and buying back the token and burning it, making it deflationary. These subnets have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. What makes this subnet extremely special is the deflationary tokenomics. So they're earning revenue, they're using it to buy back and burn the token, making it deflationary. Imagine if Bitcoin was deflationary. 150,000 tokens could just be burned, taken out of the supply forever. That would be phenomenal tokenomics. That is what Subnet 51 has. So when it comes to this subnet, again, it's competing with Chutes. Here's the count of its GPUs as of the end of April. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 424, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090, 332, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3090, 191, and it goes on and on. Obviously a lot smaller than Chutes, so it does deserve to have a slightly lower valuation than Chutes. Does it have a slightly lower valuation than Chutes? Absolutely. The fully diluted valuation of this subnet is something like $870 million. So it's about half the value of Chutes. Now, given the amount of GPUs that Chutes has, does this one deserve to be about half of Chutes? Maybe, maybe not. But again, it's deflationary. It's high quality. It's being used. There's revenue on this asset. There's adoption of this asset. Again, we need exponential adoption to invest in some of these assets. We are now seeing about 70% of our supply being rented out across multiple GPU types. Again, these decentralized computing networks are only valuable if they're being used. This is insane usage. So they're incentivized to bring more and more and more computers online. So obviously these two are very revolutionary. They're both on deep discount. Part of that is because they both had such high, fully diluted valuations. In weak markets like we've been seeing overall in the crypto space, the higher the valuation, the more downward pressure on price. And so assets like Chutes, assets like Celium have seen some downward pressure. When you're investing in these subnets in a weak market, the sweet spot is to find the very tiny market cap assets because they have way more upside, because they have way less downside. There's only so much selling pressure that you can see in an asset that has a tiny, tiny, tiny market cap. So they start to hit a floor. And from that floor, any inflow of liquidity can cause the asset to skyrocket. So that's what we've been seeing in some of the smaller cap subnets. But obviously in a bull market, these two will absolutely skyrocket, assuming there isn't some sort of issue with them. But so far, they've just been rock solid, and they will continue to be rock solid. So part of investing in these subnets is not just degenning, it's buying the highest quality ones, earning insane APY, like again, 80 to 200% APY passive income, which can all be done on the Bitensor wallet. And so you don't just want to buy garbage subnets because a lot of those will trend to zero. You want to buy the highest quality assets. So we have an opportunity to pick some of these up. These two are both on sale. Now, when it comes to the micro cap subnets, the tiny cap subnets like Subnet 28, for instance, which has a fully diluted valuation of $50 million, that's where it gets even more exciting. Because let's say this hits $1 billion valuation one day in a bull market. That's a 20x move from here. And that's a 20x move in terms of TAO tokens. What happens if the TAO token goes up in price by 5x from here, from $400 to $2,000? If it does a 20x in terms of its TAO value and reaches $1 billion fully diluted valuation, well, that's a 20x in terms of TAO. If the price of TAO goes up 5x, that becomes a 100x return in terms of dollars. That's the revolution of these subnets. Unbelievable passive income opportunities. Why am I talking about Subnet 28? Because Celium bought it. I don't have any concrete plans with it yet. And we'll be trying to coordinate validators to move all weight to a burn address soon. So the owner of Celium Subnet 51 announced the purchase of Subnet 28. Subnet 28 is a bet on Celium. It's a tiny market cap way of getting exposure to Celium, assuming they do something revolutionary with it like they did with Subnet 51. So that's 3 subnets that I wanted to share with you that could potentially provide life-changing upside. Again, if you want to learn how to make insane passive income on these assets and even invest in these assets, then you can reach out to me on Patreon anytime. Just message me and I'll show you how to get set up. And I'll also show you exactly which ones I am investing in. But I really have to share with you the opportunities in this space.